Good morning, traders. I'm Dennis Dick.
And I'm Joel Elkana, and welcome to Friday's edition of Premarket Info.
Still getting a little bit of audio difficulty on Joel's end, so you'll have to bear with us for that. S&P futures here overnight, we traded quite a bit higher. Actually, got up as high as 1645 again, though. Can't seem to hold the overnight gains. We're now up only 3 points.
Right, and that rally did take us one tick over Thursday's high of 44.75. So big resistance, 44.75 to 45 even. Coming back on the downside, we only take two ticks below the close of 36.75, so 36 and a quarter. That's a good area. We won't be sliding today unless we get back at 16.36 and a quarter.
Well, I've had a fun morning here, Joel. My email account got hacked last night. For some reason or whatever, somebody got into my email and they sent out erroneous emails spamming people basically from my account. So I've been sitting here all morning. I sent emails out to those people who are on my contact list and basically apologized and said, do not open a suspicious email from me. It's my Microsoft account, actually. It wasn't my regular Bright Trading email, but my Microsoft account. But regardless, what an annoyance, and somebody can hack in your account and get your personal information, your personal contacts like that. I've changed it now. I've recovered my account and I've changed my password. But those hackers, man, they're out there and they're trouble.
And what do they gain from it?
I think they're just trying to get email addresses. Like they're trying to grab your contacts, get email addresses, and then they try to get their email addresses. And I think that's what it's mostly doing. I don't think it's like to send viruses or malicious stuff like that. It's mostly to spam. It's mostly to get in there and to advertise. Even like on our pre-market info site, just to talk about like spamming. We have comments and people can post comments, but I have to moderate the comments, and the reason I moderate the comments is because so many computerized systems hit our email account every single, or hit our pre-market info account, the website every day, trying to post spamming comments. Literally, we get 50 to 100 comments posted per day from computers that basically I moderate out, and we obviously don't post those comments, but it's spam, it's advertising, and there's automated computer systems that try to go out there and just spam everyone, and that's pretty much what it is.
No fun, Dennis. So sorry. Hopefully your trading day will be better.
I know. Hopefully my trading day, and then we get a little audio difficulty in your part, but hopefully my trading day is going to go better than my morning has started here. So let's move on to the overall markets. I will give Microsoft some props though, because they actually did block out whoever was in that account, and then they sent me a text for me to recover my account. So they did realize that somebody had hacked into my account. So Microsoft does have some pretty good protections there. Let's move
Let's just
on.
talk about let's talk about Microsoft
Sure,
for one
we'll
second
talk about
here.
Microsoft.
The
Let's.
only reason I want to talk about it is because even though a lot of the major components in the S&P 500 index actually happened when closed on near the lows of the day, that was the opposite for Mr. Softy. Closed at 33 double, 33.60 was the high. Also Wednesday's high, 33.60, trading down on nickel in the pre-market here. So gotten a nice bounce. I have been able to fill the gap, but I want our traders to keep an eye on the double top here. Microsoft at 33.60.
It was kind of a weird day yesterday. Had a lot of stocks weak and a lot of stocks strong. Like even if you bring up a chart of Exxon Mobil, it was kind of like reversal day because Microsoft kind of reversed its down move, and then you had Exxon Mobil who had the great day, the breakout day the day before, and boom, 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 it's right back down. It gives back the entire days of gains from the previous day and sitting down here at 87.30.
Yeah, I noticed that was weak the whole day. The market still was able to rally. I did come right back down to Wednesday's low at 87.28, settled right in that area. So we'll see if it's going to be some range trading here in ExxonMobil, but gotta hold the close, gotta hold the low from yesterday right off the hop this morning.
A stock that closed very weak yesterday, General Electric, closed right on the lows, almost 23.11. The low of the day was 23.09 and a half. It is getting a pop here today, though. General Electric, we're trading up at 23.55 on 200,000 shares. Wall Street Journal reporting that they're going to spin off GE Capital. Market obviously liking that, and the stock's getting a nice lift here this morning.
What do you think about that? GE being up 44 cents in the pre-market, all those millions of shares for sale, all the way up here. I don't think it's going to be able to open up this level. Do you?
It could. I mean, it's you got to watch the volume always. I think when you're talking spinoffs and stuff, those things can sometimes pop the stocks, even a stock as big as GE, 50 cents or a dollar. So we'll obviously have to see where we are trading. I know Verizon, you had said that yesterday, and I'll give you some props there, Joel, because you said there's no way this stock is opening up over 50 bucks. And when it was trading in the pre-market, and obviously the stock actually only opened at 48.62, so way off where it was trading at $50, and then ended up giving back a lot of those gains. So I will give you props for the VZ. I don't know if GE is going to do the same thing that VZ did yesterday, but the pre-market strength did not hold in Verizon.
Well, I'll tell you why I think it will. You had a double bottom in General Electric early, Monday and Friday from last week, right at the $23.60 area, and then we gapped down, traded down, settled right on the low yesterday. And now, lo and behold, boom, one session, one piece of news, we're bumping right up into those old lows. Looks like we're going to fill the gap off the open. So, if you were holding the stock on the decline here down to 23.11, you're just getting 50 cent here. I got boy, to see fall through that 23.60 area. Really, I think it's going to take a little bit more than just them potentially spinning off GP Capital.
Let's go to some of the earnings plays here. A few big companies reporting. Start with Krispy Kreme Donuts last night reported earnings. KKD, they missed 14 cents versus 15 cents. Revenue okay, 112.7 million versus 111.5 million, but they are whacking KKD. After this report, the stock immediately lost $3. Closed at 23.23, is now trading at 20.40, so it's still down $2.80.
Yeah, it took a month to climb back above that $23 level, and then boom, one earnings report, we get it right back down. We've hit 1980 in the pre-market, starting to get a little bounce off there. You did have a low at 1950 on July 26th, so below that 1980 level, let's keep an eye on 1950. And that just I don't eat the donuts, do you?
You know what? I used to eat the donuts there. There was actually one where in Windsor, Ontario. There was one, and it closed down. It was only open for about a year. It didn't make it. Closed down. And obviously the stock has had better days. I think you've seen some stores close, but so it never worked well in Canada. But regardless, I like the donuts, but they were just too expensive. Like when they opened in Canada, what are they, $7 or $8 a dozen? How much is a Krispy Kreme dozen donuts? Do you know, Joel?
I haven't had a Krispy Kreme donut in
That
15
that's what
years.
got them in Canada. They just came out and they were just too expensive up here. I think they were $7 or $8. And you know what? We're not big donut eaters up here. I don't think in Canada. So
Who can compete with Tim Hortons, eh?
that's what it is. It's Tim Hortons in Canada. I'm telling you, man. Everybody goes to Tim Hortons. Tim Hortons never like THI would be the stock on that one. THI never was really caught on anywhere else, but in Canada they're on every corner, and basically nobody can compete with them. So they come into the market. It just seems like Tim Hortons just dominates the market in Canada. And talk about the Tim Hortons stock here for a bit. It has been selling off, but it's got Canada's market. If Tim Hortons could ever break through into other countries, that stock could really take off. But it just has never caught on in any other country.
Yeah, just pulling up the chart. It's sitting on support though, 54.70 and 54.74 over the last 2 days lows. Doesn't look like the Krispy Kreme news is dragging down the Tim Hortons, but on support here, coming down off the $59 level.
Big Lots reported earnings there last night. Stock getting a lift here, 31 cents versus 25, so a nice report. Actually, this was this morning. And the stock is trading higher here. The guidance wasn't great, doesn't matter. They like the report. 36.11 is where it's trading at, so it's up a buck and a half.
Yep, I hit 37.10 here in the pre-market, and they pulled back. Get a better perspective on the stock if you go to the dailies here. You haven't been up at this $37 level since August 1st. You hit 37.27, so a little bit overdone in that 37 print. I imagine if we get back anywhere near 37 here, you find some big sellers coming back on the downside. You have a ways to go to fill yesterday's gap, 34.70.
Salesforce.com getting a good lift here on their earnings report. Uh, 9 cents versus 7 cents, 957 million versus 938 million on the top line. So they beat on the top, they beat on the bottom, they're raising their outlook. Stock's up almost $4.
Yeah, 47.77,
Boom.
blowing away, blowing away here, the $46 level here. Let's go to the weeklies and see if we can
Look in May.
get a percent. Yeah, wow, 47.58 was the high back in May of this year. So approaching that level as we go.
Looking at OVTI reported earnings here too. Stock is trading OmniVision down significantly. They actually had a pretty decent report, 55 cents versus 43 cents. Top line slightly missed, 373 million versus 376 million, but the guidance not good at all. They see Q2 coming in at 36 cents to 53. Estimates were up at 50, so that low end of that guidance is scaring investors here. And OVTI is trading down 14% here in the pre-market at 1570.
Okay, I just had bringing our Thinkorswim viewers here. A little technical difficulties getting them in here. We just hit 1565 in the pre-market, and just getting a little bounce off that. Let's see if we can go to the dailies here to get a perspective on this stock. OmniVision here. Let's get the daily up here. Oh, boy, goes through everything, Dennis. Where the heck is the support?
I don't know. 16 had a little bit of support there, and we're taking that out here in the pre-market because for 3-4 days ago, we had 2-3 bottoms. We had 15.82, 15.99, and $16 were the bottoms, and we are taking those out in the pre-market here. So that's scary because we have basically we had a huge update back on. Just trying to grab it here. Actually, the actual day back in May. Bear with me here. We had a big gap up on May 30th from 15.12 up to the $18 area. So there's a lot of air. Obviously, even below here, we're looking down at 15.12 if we start breaking through that $16.
Yeah, that's the whole vacuum area you have here. I guess I would just keep an eye on this $16 level. I mean, having all the lows there, it's going to provide resistance. If you can get back to there, then perhaps you can feel some of the vacuum from the negative news that came out.
Apache Corp, APA, getting a good lift here in the pre-market. They are selling a 33% stake in APA Egypt for $3.1 billion. So the stock actually trading up $6 here on this news. This is an incredible move for APA, a stock that was trading down near its lows at $75 just 6 days ago, is now trading up at $84. So it's got basically a 10-point rise here in the last 6 trading sessions. And from this lift, I'm looking at this whole $85 level.
Yeah,
that looks a little bit troublesome to me.
Look at the move on this thing. 85. We hit the pre-market high here just a few minutes ago. But go back to July 19th. We had a high at 85.41. Then even go a little bit farther back in June, highs at 85.64 and 85.85. Still $1.50 away from there. Well, I tell you, if you just don't get wherever this thing opens, it's going to open up 571 right now. I think that opening trend is something I'll just keep an eye on and compare to this pre-market high, which was actually been 84.50. Because I mean, they're acting like they're taking the money and like buying the stock at the market, in the pre-market. I mean,
well, they're doing. It's getting 200,000 shares have traded, so there's definitely some volume associated with this move too. That's a pretty good volume for this stock, 200,000 shares. So, but we looked at the big move in Verizon yesterday. We looked. Some of these moves has been the play to fade them. It's always scary because you don't know where they're going. But when you got levels, you look at levels and you try to think, and you call a shot. And if it takes out your level, always know where your out is. And I'm saying that whole $85 area is going to be probably trouble. We're only 50 cents away from 85, so I think if it starts to... Is that the pre-market high, Joel? What was the pre-market high?
84.50.
84.50.
Right,
okay.
Is it bid? Is it like bid for like 100,000 shares or something? Or is it just 100 up?
Yeah, I couldn't even make you out. Your audio was really starting to get bad there, Joel, so...
Sorry. Is it bid big in the pre-market, or is it just just small lots out there.
It's all a lot of small little lots. It's a lot of 100, 300, 500 share trades going by, but it's active. And so I think, this is a real move. It's not like it's just, pressed up here on 1,000 shares. 200,000 shares in the pre-market is serious volume for this stock. So it is, a move that is substantiated and backed up by some volume, which means it's real and probably going to open up here, near this 84, 85 area. What happens after the market opens at 9:30? And, obviously a lot more significant volume comes in because there's probably only, less than 1% of your participants trading in the pre-market. When the real volume comes in, I just think that $85 level, they might be looking to take some profits
Yeah,
there.
I don't think it will get there, but since we got too much going on to make any wagers for me,
Yeah, but I'm not
I don't.
saying it's going to get there either. What I try to do on the
Yeah,
show is basically give you setups. Just
right.
because I say a level doesn't mean I think it's going there. I'm saying if it gets there, it's always if then scenarios. If it gets to that 85 level, I think there would be some traders that would be willing to take profits there. But I'm definitely not bullish the stock when it's trading up $6. I wouldn't suggest anybody buying stocks that are up $6 on gaps, on spinoffs, and stuff like that because there's a lot of air
Okay.
below. They're creating gaps below. So I think we're both on the same side here. It's just a matter of where the top. We're trying to argue where the top is going to be as opposed to where the bottom is going to be. So APA though gapping up here this morning. Let's look here at gold briefly. Gold trading down over $10 here today. The GLD's at 131,481. Joel, are you still with me? Because audio difficulties on your end are incredible right now. I'm hearing a whole bunch of
Really?
stuff. I'm hearing
I'm
background
sorry.
noise, all kinds of fun stuff. So we'll get those figured out for you on Tuesday when we're back next week. But I'll try to keep you guys here. Gold is trading down here pretty significantly. Actually down $17 now at 13.95, falling through the $1,400 level.
Right. Things have kind of subsided from the Syria war worries here. We did make a low at 1392.50 here on the session, getting a little bounce off that. Going back, you had a low at 1388.40 on August 26. The climb continues here. If gold could somehow mount a little bit of a rally here, you probably are going to have so people reapproaching that nice round number of 1400. So I look at that as minor intraday
It's interesting to see the fall off now in gold. It's like the miners led this fall off because the miners started reversing 3 days ago. Gold actually still made a new high 3 days ago, and now gold has followed up, and the miners have been weak here, and obviously trading down a little bit of here again with gold. But when you look at the Barrick chart, it did top out 3 days ago, had another down day, and then made a new low again yesterday. And it looks like it's going to take out or possibly test. It was actually got down to 1887 yesterday, but it could test those lows again here today.
Yeah, still looking at that $19 level as real good support. We did sneak down to 1887 yesterday before recovering, but still to keep an eye on that $19 level in American Barracks.
I want to talk briefly about Google here because this 847 to 848 level has been absolutely incredible. We talked about it ahead of time before actually 3 days ago when we had cited that 847.22 could give some support. The 3 days ago, low 847.90. 2 days ago, 848.59. Yesterday 848.49, and the day before 847.77. So you got three lows right in the same area. That area has been enormous support for the stock, and it did bounce back a bit yesterday. And we're now almost 10 points off of those lows, trading up at 857.80.
Yeah, I mean, you identified that area a couple of days ago. Looks like you're still trading smartly above it here, $10 in the pre-market. Taking a look at the resistance here, 860.38. That was high from yesterday. The rebound was capped at 860. We keep an eye on that as resistance, and we take out 847.77. We could be up for another major leg down in Google, but as of now, support is support.
Overall market thoughts here, Joel, as we have given back now the entire overnight gains. We just actually ticked red there just a minute ago. We are up only 50 cents now on the S&P futures after being as high as 1645 overnight. It was the same thing yesterday. It couldn't hold on to the gains. It actually did get it back then during the day session, but it seems like these overnight gains just evaporate when we start to get close to the open. So somebody's still a little bit nervous here, and they continue to sell as we start to get little rallies.
Yeah, we just came down there, almost tipped the close of 36.75 is a little pocket spread down there. Still, have to maintain, the bullish stance going into the session here, unless you can really take out that 16.36 and a quarter. We popped in late yesterday. We popped down to 16.32 and a half, but got right back up there. So good swing number that your daily pivot area as well. So that's where we keep your eye on the upside.
1636 and a quarter, the number of the day. That's our show for today, guys. We do apologize for the audio difficulties, and we will be back at you on Tuesday. Have a great long weekend.